Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever wanted to play a character action game that takes some inspiration from the beloved Kingdom Hearts franchise with a little bit of Devil May Cry on the side? Well, let me introduce you to a game called Genokids. Now, for some context, Genokids is a indie action game developed by Nukefest, a team of 2 developers from Spain. You may have seen or heard this game before. I have talked about it on my channel in the past, and around this time I was covering the demo, which was around 2 years ago. And well, as of October, Act 1 is officially available to be purchased for just $19. And I've been through the whole game in one setting. Yeah, this game is a bit short, but the gameplay aspect is really what's going to keep you consistently playing this game. The story begins with a band known as the Genokids playing at one of their biggest concerts, and suddenly an alien invasion interrupts their concert. And may I say, some good looking aliens at that. And of course, our group of protagonists did attempt to stop this invasion, but yeah, that didn't really go too well. So now Blue, the head honcho of the band, has to find her friends and figure out how to save the world from this weird alien invasion. Now, when it comes to the presentation, I do like it. It's not perfect, but it is visually a good looking indie game. And you can tell that it does put a lot of heart and charm to the game. I do like these cel shaded in-game character models. I love how the renders remind me a lot of 2B, The World Ends With You, if you ever played that RPG series before. And they do transition depending on what's going on in the situation in the cutscene. I do think that is a very interesting way of going about cutscenes. However, I do think it is a little bit jarring when they transition into the 2D renders into 3D models. In certain cutscenes, it feels a little out of place at times, but that's really the only critique that I really have. It doesn't really affect the game too much, but it does get a little noticeable when you see it after a while. But every other aspect of the presentation is excellent. Voice acting is fine. And the same goes with the sound design and the soundtrack. And I do appreciate the nods and reference to Kingdom Hearts. I see what you did there. I like that. For an action game, you do have your standard controls. You do have your standard attacks, your launchers, your jump and aerial dodges, along with a guard button, and you do have a chase attack in case you are dealing with airborne enemies. And you also have your flow meter, which is essentially your special moves that you will unlock throughout the game, and you can generate this meter by either guarding attacks or just attacking the enemy. And you do have your hyper mode, which is like your install or your transformation, similar to like Drive Form or Devil Trigger. And best believe it is a very powerful and fun tool to use. Now, you are able to do some parkouring, and there is a bit of platforming in this game, and it's not annoying. There's a bit of wall running here and there, and throughout levels, you are able to use the chase mechanic to get through certain levels, and the overall parkour aspect of the game does feel smooth and satisfying to just move around the map. Now, one of the main selling points of Genokids is the fact that it is a tag-based action game, meaning that you can combo and swap into characters on the fly, which I will say it is a really good and creative way to expand the depth within the combo system in the game. This isn't the only action game that does this, but it is a very rare mechanic that you see in single player action games. And if you have any moves that have a little bit of startup time to them, well, while you're preparing that move, you can also tag in your assist mid animation. You're still able to keep that combo going, and you are also able to use the tag system as a defensive option. Say if you're getting hit and it's going to take a little bit of time to recover on your own, well, you are able to swap characters and reduce that recovery, and this game definitely rewards you for using that tool correctly. Now, at the very start of the game, you are able to access all 4 characters, but throughout the majority of Act 1, you're primarily going to be playing with Blue and Red. And though it's only 2 characters, both of them feel really good and share their own unique moves and different combo paths. Red is a brawler who has the ability to charge both his standard and launcher attacks and can guard crush any enemy that guards. Though his attack speed is a bit on the slow side, he can pack a punch, while Blue relies more on fast-paced attacks with her sword. And once unlocked, you can even use her second weapon, that's a scythe, which has its own different moveset. And you can weapon swap in between different combos. It feels really good. She's probably the most versatile character in this game so far. And she's really fun to play. Also want to note that, like most action games, there is a style and grade system. And boy, this game punishes you when you get hit. You can potentially watch your A and S rank turn into a D real quick if you're not careful. And doing the same combos does not increase your grade. So this game wants you to constantly swap to different characters and different routes for each combo that you do in order to increase your grade, which I really do like. You know, in the enemy variety is good. And the last two bosses of the game, especially the final boss, it is so good. And it gave me a good challenge. And I hope more bosses are designed that well going forward in future acts. Now, as you're exploring through Act 1, you are able to gather different collectibles that range from different currencies, which you can use to unlock more flow skills for Red and Blue. And you can also use that currency to increase your resources and passives that'll benefit the entire cast. Hell, you'll even come across cosmetic pieces that you can equip on your character. And you're also able to find secret rooms that'll give you these really fun challenges, like defeating this enemy within 60 seconds or beating all the enemies without touching the ground. And when you complete those secret rooms, you do get rewards for it. Now, after beating Act 1, which I will say probably took me around 2.5 hours, you are able to access a harder difficulty, which if you feel like normal is a bit on the easy side, well, but hard will definitely give you a challenge if you really want to test those waters. All in all, I really enjoyed what I played so far with Act 1. It's overall a good indie action game. My only critique that I have so far, aside from like the few minor issues that I have when it comes to the cutscenes feeling jarring at times, the gameplay is really fun and addictive. The general art style and direction of the game has a lot of style to it, and the level design of the game has a good flow to it, and it doesn't really feel too repetitive. And even though it is a short game, it's a fun game, especially for $19 and it's early access. So if you want to, I recommend you guys checking it out. You know, I would love to see if there will be something like a boss rush or like a speed run mode that you can do. Feel like that'll be a really nice addition to the game. It will definitely add more replay value outside of trying to get like the highest grade and just getting all the unlockables. But I'm very satisfied with what I played so far, and I can't wait to see what Act 2 will turn out to be in the future. So we'll see when that time comes.